Hello YouTube and welcome to this edition of Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey and as always appreciate you guys joining us today. We're going to do a little work on the street legal NASCAR. I had to pull the Buick off the rack because I took a week of vacation next week. We're going to head down to South Mississippi, down Biloxi, Mississippi area for the 2021 Cruising the Coast. Like 20,000 plus street rods show up down there. So we're going to take street legal. We took it down there last year, had a lot of fun. People enjoyed seeing it. So we're going to cruise a little bit for a few days down on the beach. And but I found a leak that I thought was an oil leak. Ended up being a brake line leak out of the reservoir where it runs down to the master cylinder. So we're going to play with that first, get that done. Then I'm going to tighten up a few bolts to get it ready to load up. Then we're going to get the Buick back on the rack so we get that sucker ready for powder coat, because my goal is to take it to powder coat before I head to Mississippi. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is replace these rubber lines here. I found the leak on the car. Actually, it was on the shop floor, and I thought it was oil and realized it was coming from the side of the car, and these lines had cracked, so it drained this one reservoir over there. So gonna get these swapped out. First thing I'm gonna do is try to find a correct rubber hose that brake fluid will not affect. So we're going to go up to the local rubber hose place here in town. They Shreveport Rubber and Gas. They specialize in specialty materials for all type of industrial uses. So we'll let them tell us what type of hose we need, get a little bit of that. So get these off, and then we will get up there and see what they have in stock. All right, we made it back from the hose place. Went ahead and bought a 3/8 and a 5/16 both. I wasn't sure what size this is on the reservoir up there, and it's a 3/8. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this 3/8 line in there, and that it's gonna take a little short hose, but we can get it situated in there. So we'll go ahead and take this other side off and get these replaced and get some new brake fluid in there. All right, we have two new hoses and new fittings on the master cylinders. Filled back up with brake fluid. That was a disaster trying to get those caps off, but my brother Gene Humphrey came up and checked the valves for me. We only did one side and they seemed to be okay. I've been concerned about this motor. It gets a lot of highway miles. It doesn't get a lot of high RPM, but it's crazy. You got to treat this thing kind of like a regular race car. Check on stuff. Found out that the rear end was, the third member was, I had to tighten the bolts up just a little bit on it. It had been seeping just a little bit of oil back there. Chasing power steering line leak. But valves are checked. Got new brake lines there. And topped off the power steering, topped off the rear end, checked the transmission grease. Had one header bolt missing. Like I say, it's like a regular race car. Vibration gets this thing just like unlike a street car would have. So you got to go over it every once in a while. And since we're going so far out of town, I didn't want it to have any issues. So we're going to put the tires back on it and set the air pressures and get this thing out of the way so we can get that beauty back on the rack. So sit tight. We'll be right back with you. The infamous tabs that I've been talking about for 2 weeks are going in now. I've been putting them off because I said it wouldn't take long to do them. Well, we're back in the shop today and trying to get a few more items finished up. Unbelievable as it is, I came over this morning and that master cylinder on this car had drained out again. And I got to looking closer. Looks like the seals in the master cylinder for the rear has gone out. So we're going to take it the way it is. We're not going fast. You run like 20 miles an hour, so we're going to have front brakes only. If I keep brake fluid in it, it'll have rear brakes. So that's pretty disappointing, but we had to get on this car because we want to get this car to powder coat this coming Monday. Right now we're going to make an attachment piece on the cage, attach that piece down over there. I just cut it and Buddy is welding it in now. And Buddy's got the battery box welded in. He's working on a couple transition pieces for the hole in the floor for the floor pan for the car there. Put a couple of tabs on, weld the tabs up here. We're going to get this thing finished so I can get it to powder coat Monday. That's what the goal is, and we will accomplish that today somehow. There's a couple of holes where they had the seat mounted last time, so we went ahead and welded those up. And I'm going to buff those off now. Okay, just like that. These sanding discs are bad to the bone. Okay, Buddy's got this piece fabricated. I got it inside here in the car. We're going to buff this on the outside so we can get this tacked in. The little small pieces keep coming together here, so let me get this ground out and we'll get it tacked in. Okay. Okay, our new gasket came in from eBay, and it only took a month to get here, first class. Cost $1.56 to get here, but a month to get it. I've already got one gasket on my weld ring, so this is going to be real tricky trying to get this to hold up so I can put the top plate on. We'll give it a shot here. I hope his top gasket will help hold it in place. Okay, I've already got my pickup hose on here. And we have it turned so that the it'll be level. I know you can't see this, but it'll be on the bottom. Then what we're going to do is use wing nuts. When I set this down, we'll just use the wing nuts to hopefully it'll keep it in place. So let's see what happens. Yes, success. As long as I can get one nut started in one place, I can work them around. right, now it's pulling on up. Show you a little closer here. One thing I didn't mention that I think is important, I don't know if you saw on the pickup line, I had a brass fitting. I turned that thing so it'll automatically be laying on the bottom of the sail. But you always want to put a brass fitting on the end. I just use a push lock, but a heavy fitting, because what'll happen, these hoses sometimes will naturally want to curl up and actually try to float in the fuel. So a little speed secret there for you. Always put a fitting on the end of your pickup line inside the fuel cell. So you see now here how all these are all starting to raise up. Then we'll just take one from over here and transfer it till we get them all up. I'm probably going to go buy some nuts. I don't think I have enough matching nuts for this thing. But this is freaking awesome to have the fuel cell done. But we'll steal this one. But anyway, you see how this is going to happen. So we'll get these pulled up tight, and then we'll go grab some lunch. I'm going to pick up some nuts while I'm at it too. Okie dokie, the fuel cell's officially finished. I just need to go get some lock nuts and some washers, and get these things on here, and we're gonna go grab some lunch, like I said, and we're gonna go by and get some nuts for that. So sit tight, and we'll show you the finished product here in a minute. Okay, I ended up having enough nuts and washers to finish this thing up. I didn't realize how many chrome looking 5/16 I had, so got these on there. So the fuel cell is officially done. Well, I think we are finished and ready for powder coat. I finally got all of these tabs put on, there and there and on the front. Got pretty much all the grinding done. Floor pans are finished. Tabs on the door are on. Got the battery box welded up. The door's on. Tabs up there are done. And we got it done a lot quicker. Got this extra tab put on the back. The fuel cell is done, 100%. And I tell you what, if you've seen my other videos, my theory about doing this, see, you cannot tell that's not a NASCAR fuel cell, even though it's got a aluminum fuel cell inside of it. Essentially cost me about 150 bucks was all. Got everything ground there. Got these, we're gonna do a little more buffing tomorrow after church, but I'll be so glad to get this thing up to powder coat. Got the patch there made for the floor. We'll get this thing on the trailer either tomorrow or Monday morning, and we'll send this baby to paint. Well, that wraps up another very busy day here in the shop. Luckily, we were able to get everything finished on the chassis. We hope we have everything. We've gone from front to back. We've got all the tabs on, all the floor pans welded in solid. We came back and filled in a lot of holes where we had tacked stuff together and filled all that in. Welded up some holes and ground them back off. So I got the fuel cell finished, and man, I'm so happy about the fuel cell. You'll never know any different. That was a really good idea I had on that. But give credit to my brother too, Gene Humphrey. We actually kind of came up with that idea together, but it worked out good. But anyway, we're going to get this thing up to powder coat hopefully Monday, And my wife and I take a week of vacation. We're headed down to cruising the coast next week. We're going to take the street legal NASCAR down there, try to sell it. So if any of you guys are looking for a street legal NASCAR, get with me. I will make you a deal, or I'll trade it for something. Let me know. Street legal, titled in Louisiana, ready to go. I just got too many other projects, and just it's been fun for the last 2 or 3 years. It was time to give it a new home. But appreciate you guys watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. We're almost up to 800 subscribers, which is fantastic. But appreciate you guys watching. And we will see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. God bless you and take care.